Hello everyone, my name is Steve and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. I decided to take a different approach this time and start reviewing the Commodore 64 and some of the software programs I wrote back in the 90s when I first got introduced to the Commodore 64 at that time. And I did have an original survey out to see if people were interested in taking this approach. The reason I say that is because on my channel, mostly I was focused on Atari videos for people who are into the Atari 800 home computer system. But I decided, to take a new direction here and share some of the software and stuff that I wrote in those days. Basically I dabbed in assembly, basic and assembly both. So. And that's what this tutorial here is. This is not actually a tutorial. This is just going to show you some of the programs I did and some of the stuff that you could be learning later, such as graphics, display, redefining character sets, sprite animation, raster interrupts, assembly, and all those kind of different stuff, and eventually down to your own game design or whatever you're interested in doing. So let's get started with that. I wanted to show you one of the first videos, one of the first things one of the more inspirational programs I wrote during my time on the Commodore 64. Now, before I go into that, I originally had recorded a video here where I showed from the beginning, from my earliest programming to my later programming, but unfortunately, for some reason, the audio never got recorded, so I'm not going to upload a video that has no audio with it. Fortunately, all that time is lost, and believe it or not, that was over an hour, so I'll have to do it again. So this time I'm going to start with the Loadstar issue, which Loadstar accepted my program on disk number 136, or issue number 136. So got it here, and I wanted to kind of pivot the camera, and I'll show you. I'll load that up here for you. And also, as a word of caution, you may see my display flicker, and you may see some things appear funny on the screen. Unfortunately, I have a problem with my video controller right now on my Commodore 64. So kind of bear with me on that. I'll introduce and show you when that becomes an issue as we go along. Hopefully it isn't too much of a distraction at this point. Okay. And you're seeing this displayed on the 37-inch LCD monitor on the Samsung TV, so hopefully it doesn't look too bad. Let's run this. I already have the disk in here, so all I have to do is hit enter. Or return, I'm saying enter, that would be the PC thing, but on the Commodore 64 you would always hit the return key. Got an error message here, let's see. I'm checking to make sure the disk is in correctly. Let's try this again. Sometimes you notice my Commodore's been given these error messages even when there's no error. There's no error actually introduced on this line, it just loads an assembly program into memory. And I forgot to mention this too, but I'm also having trouble with my 3 key, so it sticks sometimes. So I think this thing might have bypassed it. Looks like it went into their basic program, so I'll be able to run their software since I hit that 3 to stop outputting here. And something else is wrong. Let's try this again. See what's going on here. Come on. I'm able to turn this off, turn this back on. Maybe had some trouble with it. Bear with me on that a second. This is supposed to load up the first menu on the Loadstar, which is, you just see that program earlier. It showed up on the screen, so there it goes. Sometimes they have trouble loading their stuff. This is pretty cool. There's an actual startup screen that's created by one of the best graphic contributors they had for the Loadstar, which was named Walt Harned, and he done some pretty nice stuff. If you look on my channel, there's one called Peter and the Wolf. He did all the graphic screens for that alone. Hopefully this one doesn't look too bad. I thought it looked pretty good though. And what you're seeing is what you're getting. That's exactly how he designed it. He is very good with the palettes of the Commodore 64, and he knew how to go in and alter things to his desire, which resulted in a very nice picture. Well, it'll take a little bit of a while to load, but Walt Hartnett was also famous for designing these little, well, with the help of the Loadstar team, they would design these little mini shows where, like the one Peter on my channel, Peter and the Wolf, is like a storytelling. So he would do storytelling with his pictures, basically. And they'd create up some of their stories. Sometimes they'd make them kind of relate to real life. There's a real funny one on there that kind of relates to life itself, and it starts with a young man, old man, and I won't give it away, but it's pretty funny. So here's the first menu. We're going to go straight into it here. This isn't a Loadstar review, so I'm not going to unfortunately take you all the way through Loadstar as much as I would like to. Maybe I'll do that in another video if people are interested in learning about Loadstar. You just use the arrow keys or the joystick to move up and down. I haven't plugged in the wrong port though, so change it out. Reinsert it. And my joystick's kind of sticking a little bit here. Just to kind of show you, they did have something called brainware, which would be kind of brainware software in those days. Helpware. And it's kind of like utilities. No, that's the utilities right there. Actually, funware. That's the game I'll show you in a little bit. Utilityware. A lot of fun graphics, programs, and stuff like that were pretty common on the Commodore 64 back in the days. Here's actually one he's got called Flags and Anthems. I believe that was done by Walt Hartnett. So it tells, pretty sure it's a slideshow. That's what they were called, slideshows. I couldn't think of what they were called. Slideshows. And GeoSware. GeoS was the GUI interface that the Commodore 64 used by a third-party vendor, of course. So, since this one is to introduce the programs and stuff I wrote to walk you into learning basic and assembly, I'm going to show you the one that, after a year of working on this thing, and I think it was in 1993, let me see if the numbers listed on the disk here. I think that they never actually dated them or anything. This is issue 136. On the record, it was somewhere around 1993. I remember that was about the last time I was writing them. 92, 93 is probably when I submitted this to them. And it got rejected over and over, so it wasn't like it got accepted right away. It took me a while to really get it implemented. So here it is. It's called Quest-Mad Bomber. So the whole name is Quest for the Mad Bomber. They couldn't fit it on the line, so they stuck it on. They kind of broke it up a little bit there. And then I had to supply this solution to the people, even though I originally designed the program to be encrypted so that nobody could read it, so that you couldn't. The general idea is with the text adventures, you're going through them, you don't want people to be able to read it, or it wouldn't be much of a game. The idea is to think about it and how tasks are carried out and what this aid leads to be and stuff like that. But unfortunately, a lot of those people in the day would cancel this subscription, as so I was told. So they had to eventually have me create a documentation that showed the entire solution. That's what this part does right here. And this part right here is the introduction. I'll do this first, but this kind of introduces the game itself. Oh, we gotta insert the right disc too. Loadstar is pretty common for that too. If you put in the wrong disc, they had error traffic built into their programs. Very effective. So I had disc 1 and I'm just now inserting in disc 2 here. And just reload it again. And you can see there's my name there, so that's what it's about here. Interactive text game. You play by typing in simple commands, and these are the commands I had put as an example, like get hat, we'll grab a hat and stuff like that. And these are showing you all the commands that are actually available here, or listed some of the important commands. This was actually all written by me, most of this was. They've gone in and edited parts of it, but mostly did all this. And here's a solution, which they eventually called the wimp out file. And here's where all the commands, these are all the commands that are built into the actual program itself. So it recognizes these and it parses them on the display. So I'll show you the other one here. Let me jump back out of the menu here. My joystick is not really great here, so this is the solution. If you don't want to see the solution, you can skip this part, but obviously if you don't have the program, it's not going to matter anyway, so. This is the web out file. So. Pretty excessive program, pretty long and everything, so it kind of took a while to load this thing. Well, this isn't the actual game, I know this is the WinBout file. And this just tells you what you do in each section. Heck, I might even read this because I forgot how to play the game for so long. I was trying to play it earlier and I couldn't remember where certain stuff was at. And this is kind of a story I built behind it during those days. Let's go and do it really fast. But it walks you through the entire adventure. There's an airport, there's a passenger compartment, a storage room. That's on the airplane, I believe. A work site, construction work site, a rough road, there's a store. Apartment. It's a darkness point. A hallway here. A rundown dirty room, I like that name. Where I got that from. A rough road. These are the various locations you would have to go back to complete the adventure. Got a lot of storyline here again. I think that was it pretty much there. That tells you won the game at the very end. But eventually the goal of the game is to find the med bomber. He's hiding somewhere in the city, so let me get back to this. And I'll run it now. This will take a while to load this one. So I don't know what else I can do to keep you entertained at this point, but bear with me on this. Commodore 64 was common in those days to take longer to load software, especially since it was reading sectors directly off of a disk, and doesn't, even compared to the capacity and the speed that hard drives can do these days. So their speed it was pretty quick for its time. It wasn't very effective where it could really instantly load a program unless they had a really special kind of drive, which they did design those in those days, but anyway. Trying to keep you bored, and it'll be a black screen here for a couple seconds or so. That drive is still humming over here. So. I just noticed this wasn't full screen. That's going to make a difference, but I'm going to full screen now. We'll find out later in the video how that looks. So this is a long loading, so bear with it a second. It took me a year to write this thing. Very convoluted now that I think about it. Here's the title screen. This uses a raster display interrupt around the screen to change the background colors. And you just press the key to begin. It'll take a few seconds here to launch it. Takes you to the options menu. Here's where you can load, save your game, play the game. I wanted to see what credits did earlier, so I wanted to go back here and look at that. Oh, this is where I gave credit to where I actually found some of the sound effects in the game, so I always give credit where it's due, right? This will take you back to Loadstar, so we're obviously going to load the game. Not load the where we're going to play the game. We don't have one to load, so we're just going to play it. Okay, here we go. I'll put the joystick down, doesn't use the joystick. So, Loadstar was kind of intrigued when I designed this little, what you would call a display at the bottom here. Because a lot of text adventures in those days weren't graphical, they didn't have pictures. I thought I would add some pictures into it. And then I kind of, built an interface here where you can kind of interact and see what's going on. So, these are the directions up here. You can see that this is an in for north, and this just tells you where you're at and what you can see and stuff like that. So, what I know and what I remember, you're in the squad car, there's a button on the wall, you can't push that until later, so let's see how much I can remember of this. Go north, there's a special watch, you would just type get, and I had to do 2-word parser in those days, so get special watch would get it without the watch. Okay. Now if you type INV inventory, you'll see it would have the special watch. And it disappears, of course. Okay, so we go back. And there's a desk here. You can look at the desk. These were common on the text adventures. It kind of tells you it has a green drawer on it. So we got to probably do something with the green drawer. Let me guess. Look at the green drawer. No, you can't look at something if you don't have it. Maybe it's just like a drawer. No, it tells you it doesn't understand. It's probably just look at desk. They're always different. Yeah, that's kind of what we already did here, so. Let me look at the file cabinet. And I didn't build a whole lot of flexibility in there, it looks like. Nothing special about the filing cabinets. Well, I know. I think you can open the desk, but I think it'll tell you it's locked or something. You have to get keys to open up the desk. It's not very intuitive here, I noticed. Like I said, I can definitely improve this thing over time. There's different keys hidden throughout the program. There's one, I think the one in this room is actually in behind the desk. Let me see. Oh yeah, we go back north here. West. There, I'll just move the desk. I spelled it wrong. It doesn't understand anything, it's going to say you can't do that, so. That is a pretty good parser. It kind of figured out what you were doing when you type stuff in. So now, there's the blue key. Now you get the blue key. Now to see, I just now figured out something. It said there was a green drawer on it. So you need actually a green key to open up the desk. So even if you try to open up the desk now, it's going to tell you it's still locked. I should have said something like that key doesn't fit in here or something, but now that I think about it, it would have been so much better. It's actually in the elevator. I'm going to try this again. Earlier I tried to go in the elevator in my earlier video that I uploaded with no audio, and I got stuck in the elevator. So I'm going to try it again here and see if that's the key we need. It took me a while to figure out how to get into it. Enter elevator. Okay. That is a red key. Get the red key. The hard part is figuring out how to get out of the elevator. I don't know why I made that so difficult, but I did. Let's see. Get. I forgot to look that up when we were looking at the solution file earlier. I knew I was going to look at it for one reason. Let's see if we look around. Look at the elevator. In this parser you're seeing, by the way, this is written entirely in assembly, so it's responding to an assembly parser I built. Because if you use a basic parser, unfortunately it would cut out a lot in the program. It's kind of limited, so I did have to design my own. Let's see, exit elevator. I'm not sure how to get out of here. I don't know why I made it so hard to get out of the elevator. But see, if you try to type like south, there's no direction, so it won't let you go in that direction. So, leave elevator. I cannot recall how to get out of this thing. This would have made the game very frustrating. I don't know why I made this point very hard. I can see it now that I've forgotten a lot of it over the years. It was designed back in like 1993, so I can't. It's even hard for me. I can't even remember what I actually did to get out of this thing. So I might have to start it over, but let me think. So if you're exiting an elevator, you enter an elevator. Let's just try to open the door or something. I think that would be more common, wouldn't it? It will let you open. Is there a button? Press button. So I want you to think of words for leaving. Another word for exiting is like exiting, leaving. We was originally in the hallway. Maybe just type go hallway. That was it. Go hallway. Look at that. Okay, so now let's go back down here and go. Oh, I went the wrong way. Let's go north, west, and we're going to move the cabinet. I'm pretty sure there's something behind that one. And it says it doesn't understand. It wants you to type the entire thing. So remove file cabinet. And let's see, it's not behind the cabinet. I'm mistaken of where we're looking for the green key again. So remove the desk. How about? Oh, the green key is I'm guessing the green key. Or something. I know inside the desk is the car keys, but something to do with the cabinet. Let's look at that here a minute. I don't understand. Okay, let's just type. Look at tab. Dynamic tab. Or key tab. I can recognize that. I tried to sometimes make it more than 2 parsers so you could have more than one word to use. Nothing special. So if you push the cabinet, I can't remember how you get into this thing. I know move desk. Let's go venture around here a little bit. Maybe it's hidden somewhere else. Okay, so we go south. And that takes you down. West. It's back there. North. Report room. That's kind of like a dead end there. West. It's something to do with this room and I can't recall. Let's see. I looked at the desk earlier, right? A green drawer. Let's look at the green drawer. I don't know if I did that yet, but if there's any indication on that. You don't have it. Yeah, that's right, you can't look at it. So you got the blue key, red key, special watch. That's what was common in those games, is to make a adventure that people have to think about steps to try to solve a solution. I know I wasn't going to kind of concentrate on this entire program, but I wanted to show you eventually what happens if you get the green key, you open up the desk, find the car keys, then you go back down here to the squad car, and you would do something like enter squad car. Right now, it won't let you do it because you don't have because you don't have the key to get in. I should have made it more obvious. Instead of saying it's tightly locked, I should say, well, that key doesn't fit or something like that. But we're still learning in those days. I didn't really have a good plot to the whole thing now that I think about it. So I'm just going to play around with it just a little bit longer. There's a button on the wall. I'm curious to press that here for a minute. See what happens. Oh, outside's open, reveal on the outside. Oh, so you can actually walk outside. Forgot about this part. Something happens if you try to walk farther out. Let me see. Oh, it's too far to walk. Like that makes any sense. Again, it was a poor design. I was more a graphical person those days, so I was interested in how things looked. I really didn't try to plan out a lot of the deep embedded storyline, but they were still nice enough that, you know, to buy the software from me in those days. So let's kind of jump out of here. Let's just exit. There's a quit. I think it's quit. Quit. You can quit the game like that, and it'll say, "Are you sure?" And you say yes. It'll take you back to the menu. We would just type 5 to go back to Loadstar. Maybe I could make this review just on this Loadstar issue. I don't know, but I wanted to show you eventually some of my programs, but let's see where this one goes anyway. I'm curious to show you that Walt Hartman, see what he had done on this issue. It takes a while for these things to load in sometimes, so bear with that a second here. It's cold. The drive is still kicking over here, so it'll be loading in just a minute. Hopefully it hasn't died. Usually after a certain time limit, I'm going to guess that it probably died. Something went wrong with my attempt to get them back to Loadstar. I remember they were talking to me about that before, so I'm going to have to reboot this one. They locked up. There's written parts in assembly, so I think they locked up the program somewhere. I noticed just what it was, the 3 key was still stuck. So anyways, let's go back. Excuse that, this display is really bad. Alright, so we got 1. Yeah, I have to go through the title screen and everything again, once I get to see it again, I guess. Those days, waiting was common, so the better the title screen, the less your time to wait seemed to be more worthwhile. People today might not be able to appreciate that since games can load a lot faster these days. Even on systems like the machines they had in those days, they still did a pretty good job on how fast they could load stuff and get it, and what the content they could offer you once it was loaded. I thought they had a pretty nice end user interface. Okay, so let's go back here. And sometimes it tells you what disc it's on, but I think it's the C. It's on number 4. Number 4. We won't read this one, we'll just go right to the program. This is one of those slideshows, I believe. one was written by another. This is another famous contributor. I think it's pronounced Marquise. He was a contributor of a lot of the music that was given to Loadstar, and Tucker is one of the editors of Loadstar. Bender Tucker, he was the editor of Loadstar. That's a kind of neat display. I like that one. Now it's done by one Harned right here at that graphic. Let's see what this is all about. Probably get a show flag for each country, I'm guessing. What if he made them original and different? No, it's kind of actually showing the alma mater for each one too. Interesting. This one may not be one of his real. How do you get out of this thing? Yeah, it's all, let's see, Brazil. Let's try another one to see if they're kind of similar or not. Anthem and Flags of the World, that's what an anthem is. National anthem. Yeah, I'm going to have to investigate now if you want to see some more Loadstar stuff. I'll set another issue later where I show you my program. That was one of the better ones there, but no. Yeah, I guess the flags are each different in some way. But this shows you the kind of different pictures they had. Some of the other cool stuff I wanted to show you, some of the games that they actually included on these software discs. And this was one of my favorite ones of all time. I'm just going to go ahead and run the direct disk instead of going through the whole Loadstar menu because it'll probably take forever to go that way. But yeah, this game rocked. I haven't seen this anywhere on YouTube yet, so you get a first glimpse of this guy. He won a contest. The Loadstar requested they had a contest going on for who could write the best game, and this guy, he was a genius. When he did extract a lot of his art from another game, but the way he built the interface and the AI in the game was pretty astounding. And you'll see it in a minute here. And I'll probably have to reboot this thing again. So let me just take a peek at the directory here. So I'm going to kind of take a shortcut here. Oops, that dreaded 3 snuck in again. I'm looking for the title, what he called the game. It's right there, it's Epsilon Boot. That's the name of the game, is Epsilon. And then you just run this, it's going to run the game directly. You actually change the screen, you have to be able to see it here unless I change it like that. And my graphics is messing up here again. It'll go out on me now. We're good, really good here. I have a really loose cord here on the back, and something is going wrong with the display, so wait. Heck out of me now. Come on. Yeah, I think the computer just crashed. Yeah, there it goes. If I don't jiggle that in the back, the color goes out, so I'm trying to get a converter for later so I don't have to go through that anymore. Something's wrong with my cable. It might not start up in color, and I'm going to have to fix that in a minute. But it is an amazing game. I used to play this thing for hours. You see why it takes forever to load it, but it's worth it. I guess I'll be the first person to put out some of the Loadstar, the more I would like to set up what's called the best Loadstar games I ever saw. Maybe set up a channel for that. Not a channel, but a video for that. This will kind of be like the introduction to that. Not that my game was the best, but these games out there were rocking. Here it is. Actually, the color remains. Hear the sound or not. Let me see if the sound went out. The sound was amazing in this thing. And it seemed to have lost control of the sound. Let me go back and double check the sound port. You might not get to hear the sound. So you don't want to watch me play this whole thing with no sound. The sound is rocking on this thing. I'm just going to plug this in the sound. There it is. I get a choice. I get the graphics or the sound on this thing. They're awful. See, the graphics go out, but that's the music if you want to hear it. The music is just amazing. I can get it display. You can probably see it already just by looking at it. Is that amazing or what? That's her character right there on the screen. What just happened here? The music never really gets boring either. I always enjoy it. I can take off the graphics if I want to hear it for a minute, but that's the whole music. I know you can't see that at the bottom, it's going pretty fast because the camera's not picking it up, but it's telling you about the game. You should slow that thing down because it's kind of hard to read it. Look at it. The music even changes throughout the game if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I'll show you the game here in a minute. You can hear the music. That's neat. And it gets a little upbeat. That's the alien's head right there. That's your character right there. You're on basically another planet. It's a platformer, so. That's how basically the music echoes and repeats after that, so. Yeah, look at that. I guess you got the color and the sound going full. I'm gonna touch it now, so let's just go ahead and do something a little bit more and I'll start it. Bring this up a little closer. You can really see what's going on here. Let's start it. And let the run master start it. There's the end of it. That's totally awesome. It starts over there. Okay, so beam me down, Scotty. And now we can actually move around here. You jump up here. This thing goes on and on forever. It's like there's really no way where you can really end the game. If he dies, I think what it does is start you back at the top or something like that. It doesn't really have like an end game screen, but you pick up these little, I think they're diamonds or something, gems or whatever. Animation, he took advantage of fully everything in this game that I've ever seen in the game. It goes on and on. It kind of reminds me of Cauldron, if anybody's ever seen that on the Commodore. Oops, I died. Oh. Oops, now I died there. What the heck? Oh great, I'm going to end dying and starting over the whole game again. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out how to jump. that? Yeah, that's how you do it. There you go. Uh-oh. I'm dead again. And it starts over. I guess it does have a game over screen. I was wrong. Okay. Maybe I just had a better joystick in those days and knew how to play the game. But listen, it goes on and on and on and on. All the screens he built into it alone made it so worth it just to play it. Look at this, this thing goes on and on forever. In those days, platformers were pretty popular for, you know, stuff. How do you get out of here? So he even thought about this too, because if you get here, I think you have to jump across here, and then up here, to get back out of here. So he had it all planned out. Some of this time I'm just going to drop down here instead. And you can also kind of move over as you're falling. I said it was just incredible. Unless the graphics are coming out better here now that I look at it, but they're not nothing like what I'm looking at over here, but it's kind of close. It's kind of blurry. I wonder if I can change the resolution. Second here, I'm going to see if I can change the resolution. I remember how to do that. I'm taking my remote from responding to it. Okay, right here, set up video. Let's see, try to take the brightness down maybe. That's it right there. See if that changes the resolution and helps improve it or make it worse. About a minute. Maybe it'll see a little bit better if I do that. It came a little bit better when I did that, so let's try that. The character's not too bright now. It's kind of dark over here, but I wouldn't even be able to see it. The music is incredible in the game. The adventure of anything you want to possibly do in this game is there. I'm dying like crazy over here. You don't have any sound effects when he dies or anything, but falls in the water. My joystick is horrible for playing this game, so that's why I'm dying so much. Look at the graphics. He took, you know, he took them from another game. It's just so incredible what he thought of. You know, the animation and everything. This thing just goes on and on and on. I'd love to be able to show you forever, but this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. For a contributor alone on the Commodore 64 is pretty astounding. I think you can pass this now. See, just the difficulty alone, getting past these people, especially with a bad joystick, was very tasky. Very twisted jump. I don't remember how to do this thing now. I'm not doing very good, am I? So there's, I'm going to show you the other side over here if I get over there. I don't remember them going this fast. And I wanted to change. Jeez, it's hard. Another thing is, he made it so challenging utterly that I think people enjoyed that too. I used to be really good at this. With a good joystick, I would kill this game. But anyway, let's go over here, so it's over here. Great. I'm dying everywhere. Beam me down, Scotty, instead of beam me up. That's kind of funny. Gosh, this is harder than I ever imagined. Okay. Leave me alone. When he's remilitarizing that way too, he won't die. Notice how I walked up to him and they didn't do anything that time. So, let's go over this way this time. No, I died last time. I jumped over here. Great. It's really hard without a good joystick. This one just doesn't jump guide me correctly. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get over there and missed my opportunity. Let's see. Right. You can see there's more and more levels. It just goes on forever. This is a pretty fun level in here. I'm going to play that one. Right. That was here earlier. So that's one of the games, and that was one of the more popular ones on the Commodore. So, I'm entertaining with that music while I look up another game for the Loadstar. At 45 minutes already. Wow. Okay, so let's kind of speed up here a little bit. See if I can find it. Oh, this is a great game too. You need to see this one. Loadstar really attracted some really top talent during those days. And this next game is really fun too. Wish I don't have the joystick to really show you what it does. But I'll load it up here and let you judge for yourself. Here. That is a really funky name. It's right here. Mcgottifant. I think somebody must have named it after themselves. That's what he knows what a Gottifant is. I don't know. I don't get that part. This is just loading into the game directly from disk instead and bypassing Loadstar. So hopefully I did it correctly. It's another long game. You can see though over here, this is how many sectors it is, 46, so that's a pretty large game. Looks like it's already done. This one is really neat. I like this one. The title screens didn't even give credit for what the game really did. So this is kind of telling you our one and only part for the demo. It was a demo that they were working on, and they done this in 48 hours, this team that designed this thing. And here it is. Check this out. Actually, this might be the demo for the game. Let's see. I think this is the demo. I was looking for the original game. It might have been on the next issue. Let's see. Yeah, because he stops you into the, this is kind of cool, so he stops you into the traffic light and then he'll go again and he's jumping off his back. Like a cartoon, doesn't it? Let me look up the next one. Sorry about that. I thought that was the actual game. He falls down the sewer, that's funny. Maybe this was just a demo. I thought this was a game. Looking on the issue too to make sure I didn't overlook something here. Apparently everything seems to be in check. Let's look at this. This is this number 121. I guess this was just a demo. My bad. It's a kind of a cool demo though. That's why I check marked it off. It kind of repeats over and over again. So let's look for that game I was trying to tell you about before we run out of time here. There's something equivalent to it. Terminal City, I did show that one on my channel, so I'm not going to go into detail with that one. Let's see here. Sorry for the ill preparation on this part, but I was going to have it. Here it is. That's the one I wanted to show you. This is on issue. This is issue number 131 of Loadstar. So let's go into that one. And it's on side 3. So say goodbye to the elephant. He's going away. None of the keys do anything. What am I gonna do? Alright. There it is. DJ. Oops. Look at the size of this one. The other one was 46. This one is 132. So this rivals that one by a long shot. But it is a full game, and it's really, really cool. When I mean cool, I mean you're going to get the graphics, you're going to get the gameplay, everything. So. And these were done by contributors. This was probably a team of contributors, I imagine, but incredible. Where's they? Spend time looking for the next one if I have time to get the next one out. I saw one earlier. I was thinking about putting up. It was a basic one, but I wanted to see if there was something, another assembly game that was pretty good or not. I wanted to show you this one. This one is really funny, even though it's not graphically delightful type eye candy stuff, but this was a really funny one. We'll look at that one next. And I guess that'll be it. So let's run this one. Hopefully I got my sound still activated here working. There we go. That's a pretty nice title screen. Now this one wasn't done in 48 hours though. This is probably done a year or two, who knows. Look at this. This shows you some of the screens. I thought this was really neat before they even start the game. They kind of picked random screens and showed you them before the game would begin, and they would kind of switch them out. Now you saw that one, and you'll see this little demo, and it'll go back to the screen again, and you'll see a different screen next time. I think, yep. Kind of showing you the progress you would make, but here's the game. This thing is really neat looking. You like this little dragon here at the top, and you can shoot these little blades out toward these animals. Yeah, I don't have the greatest joystick. I know I'm going to be crushed on this one. Whoops. What's down here? You can kind of fly, like puff the magic dragon or something. That's kind of cool. It's a platformer, so you have to kind of jump up on those things. Get right next to the edge, and then lucky me, my joystick is just not so great. I'm in the market to try to get a better one, because this one doesn't jump diagonally very good. You have to kind of hold it up. And this is not the game to be playing it for. But if you look over here, there's other parts of the game. This thing is just so cool. It's a side scroller kind of thing, you know. And animation's got everything. I don't know if I'm going to get past this. You may know it'd be a good suggestion for a joystick. Let me know. This one just wasn't designed well, or really not losing its time. Let's see, I think you go up there and then you kind of jump over here. There, I made it this time. But still got a long way to go, right? Hopefully I don't fall this time. Let's see if I can jump up here. Get up here. And I get up here. Oh, right here. I see you just jump up here and then land you up here. Oh great, these things are going to kill me. Got all the way up there and I died. Hopefully they don't let me start all over. They put you right back in the midst of battle. There we go. And you pick up these little fruits and stuff. And I died there. Landed on some spikes. I said it is really challenging. See how they jump up and they get you and everything? You got a few seconds before they revive, and I just died there and jumped onto more spikes again. And think about that. I'm gonna hit this guy, or just dodge him. It's better just to dodge him. Even these things shoot at you. Wow. I just thought of everything in this thing. This is some more of the screens over here. That's fortunately over. Let's see where it puts me back here. And it starts me way over in the corner again, where I originally died at. And that's why I died. I tried to jump all the way over there. And I knew that was going to happen again. Hopefully I can make it this time. I'm getting used to this joystick now. Yeah, right. That one angle that doesn't jump very good. The other one jumps good, sort of. You hold it right. I don't think these joysticks start very well those days. It was really hard to jump them. I think that's why Toy 2600 ever took them on. I like the little side animation he makes too. And we're getting close to out of time here, so I'll probably go into the next one. The next one's kind of a funny program I wanted to show you that was on an issue submitted by a contributor. If I'll be dying when I get all the way here again, sure. Okay, so these are supposed to be like your hell. Just kind of need to hit him when he jumps up there. Got me again. With a good joystick, this is a very, very fun adventure. With a bad joystick, it reeks. So let's see, get this guy off of me. Because you got to be able to shoot so fast. And see how you got a few seconds, you can still get away and then die. Forgot about those spikes. And drop down here and get this guy. Kill him. And this is kind of like you're on a conveyor belt, so you have to get ready to jump. And then you're going to die again. And you got to jump up here. And I forgot this guy's going to shoot at you too. Oh, great. I think you have to jump up at this guy. Let's see. That's this way. You have to jump up at this guy and shoot him. There we go. Great. You can die everywhere in this thing. Now, that's the game. But yeah, it is. You just play that thing for hours and it's so much fun. So let's get on to the next one. I think that one had music, but we didn't have the sound activated. I guess the sound would go out. So let me, hopefully this one's sound works on. It's a basic program, so you don't need the comma one. I don't think, unless I spelled it wrong. Let's see. ODY is 2 S's. I'm looking backward to type here, so. This one is really funny. I hope I can get the sound on this thing, but it's so worth just to hear it. It's got music and everything in it. Let's just turn on the jukebox. That's the worst poem I ever heard. That's what I noticed has music in it. There it is. I guess you can not hear it. And if I just hold it pretty in here. That's for the Commodore Music Interface. He's got little zits on his face. Done in regular character graphics, and this is a basic program. By a very creative author, Jim Green. Wow. Totally lost it now. That went really well. I think it's loading another screen, that's what's going on. Okay, I couldn't tell if I lost it or something else happened. There's a piano man. Oh great, I hope I'm showing that. There we go. Come on. This one is really funny. Got a little flare going on here. People are clapping if they like them. Sound effects for the Commodore. Now he's going to play the piano. See his hand down there? This is funny. Somebody shot him like they didn't like him or something. Great. There's another thing again here. And somebody claps again. That is funny. That's what you feel. I just may not play anymore. It loads screen by screen, so this is a very large program. Got my hand holds out for the end of this one. We're over by an hour here, but bear with me a second. This one is kind of interesting. I'm going to take a second to read that there. The earliest word processor, keep that in mind. What do you think it's going to be? I'm going to press spacebar. Can I read about that one? Malfunction adjuster, I like that it says at the bottom there. Base for other models, I like this. Those who make no mistakes, only mistakes, those who do very little, those who do absolutely nothing. That used to crack me up. He had quite a imagination, this guy. This is a little cartoon he created. The animation. He won the contest that they had for this time. Loadstar, you know, had many different contests during their time. Avoid bloats. Keep your bubble gum under lock and key. And loads the next screen for the demo. Oh, it's a new demo. Alien Dilemma. I just shook his hand and he was sick. Face to send me home. Nothing's are emotionally unstable. this one. This is funny. It's a joke. With animation. Overdue towels say. I didn't think this one was too funny, but oh well, it's part of the program. Still printed though. His first. Makes sense. I like that part. I can't help it. I was born stupid. Excuse me, this one used to crack me up. I think that's why he won, because it was so funny. Want to make people laugh? Learn to laugh at yourself. True fact. He took advantage of a lot of stuff that was available to a basic beginner for the Commodore 64. I looked at his code a lot. He didn't have any assembly down in it, but he did a really good job. I think his humor alone really put him above the competition. Spaced exercise. I don't know if you can see that. I can't even actually read it here. Get healthy or something. This is funny. He's following an instructor. Both legs out. And Joe tossed me the ball. This one doesn't go on too much longer, but watch. He's always got a punchline in these or something. Ball again. Joe can never get it right. Or you just can't catch it. There he goes again. He's tossing up the ball. It's almost over, I think. Oh boy, my tire is what it says. Of course, he wants the ball again. I could read that message, something. Maybe he just kind of falls down. That's the end of that one. The ball's laughing at him. Rick was taken to the hospital with great. These are these thoughts. It's better to be a couch potato than a soggy squished out tomato. I guess this guy thought of everything. Too bad the video cord wasn't working very good here. It's kind of a nice 30-minute thing to watch that day. that time. There's some more of that, going back to that same storyline he has with Tintin and Blowy. Must have been a cartoon or something, I don't know. You ain't watching HBO with your kids. Like Batman and Robin. They bounce the ball means you press space each time. I'm leaving it here so you can kind of read a little bit. The best brains of the CIA and FBI. Batman was busy opening a new film. Tintin and Blowy took over. It was funny. Kind of quell. The ball means I have to continue each time. Oh great. Let me show you that. And let's be okay, but the baddies nurse, perhaps they heard of the fearsome special agents. Directed scheme is act very quickly. Work their devilish scheme and swiftly your beloved doll. The doctor bring it. Yes, the Mcgottifant blow. Look at the expression on his face. It's priceless. How could he save our doll? Like, guess what he's gonna do? We already know what he's gonna do. Blowy's gonna take care of him. Let them have it. Need more ammo, huh? Go. Gosh, this board is so bad. Sounds like he's got the whole army. And more afraid of this sound. Ready. Get afraid and take off. Very creative. And that blowjob. That's a pretty nice screen there. I thought you did graphics so well on that one. He wasn't a graphic artist, but see what you can really do. You really put your mind to it. There's a little creativity and go with it. Whatever your passion is. I think it's pretty close to the end. I'm trying to remember if there was anything else I can recall. That was the whole thing, was to get up to the storyline. I mentioned that was the grand finale. Oh no, there's another one. Elevator right. instructions. Let's see. Now you'll be able to play this game, but I gotta be able to hold the keyboard, and at the same time I'm not gonna be able to do that. So let's see. Maybe a lower game in here. I'm just gonna go to the end because I can't play this because you play with the computer. The computer plays with itself. Let's try 3. Yeah, I don't have to do anything. Ride the elevator. So it's playing against itself now. It worked out pretty much in my favor, didn't it? The elevator's gonna move up when they get, I think when they get doubles or something. And it's gonna take us a while to go through it. You're supposed to submit a game, so yeah, I guess you had to put some kind of a game in here to be part of the contest. There's a little electric going at the top. It's funny. There's a way to quit this. I should have a quit, jump out kind of option. It takes a long time to go through this thing. Maybe I can fix the thing while I'm doing this. Oh good, I did. Free my hand. I'll let you watch this, I'll be right back. Takes a long time. Okay, ends when it gets to the top. I can't skip out of it. That's gonna be a long one. Looks like the second player's gonna win. I know it's gonna take this time if I wouldn't have started it, but oh well. I'll finish it now. Oh, he got 2 for it. Almost there. They end up going back down too. I'm great. It'd be a long game if there were 2 people, wouldn't it? Oh, he went down 2. I don't know why I never wanted to play this thing. Great. No option to opt out or anything. Are we going up or down? I'm trying to exit out. These are the exit out. It'll take too long to start all over again. I regret starting that thing. Maybe what's the goal is to go to the top and back to the bottom. I don't know. Try the elevator. Moving on down. And we're going down now, it looks like. Let's see. Kinda cool if they had some little animation in it or something. Like a little man walking or something. Out. Keeps going too long. Oh brother, it's going back up again. Well, moving on down, let's see. Go back up 1 floor. Sometimes you don't move. That makes it long. Ah, I forgot how long this thing was. And I'm going to let it run for a little bit longer here, guys, but I think that that's probably it here. I don't really know what else to really do at this point. It seems to be running in an endless loop. This one was a real long one to play, so I wanted you to see the end, but I think that is pretty much the end. Let's see, you rolled 60 times. Actually, there's the end right there. Look at that, we just made it. No, do not play again. Let's see, here's the end of it. Good, I was glad I was able to show you the end. And that last part was a long one, wasn't it? There's the end of it. The levers of the C64 and C128. C3s don't know how to quit. Isn't that true? I think that's the name right there. It starts over again. Yeah. That'll take you back to Loadstar, so let's call this a night. It's late here, so hope you guys enjoyed this session here. Just like that. Wrap this one up for this final one here, and later I'll get some videos out showing you some of this other software that I designed, and I want to eventually take this approach where people want to learn BASIC can learn Commodore 64 BASIC and eventually advance up to the stuff I had learned in assembly, and I could kind of teach you some of that stuff, and we'll kind of, you know, rack heads together and kind of learn things together and stuff like that. So, yeah, I know this was a long one, but thanks for watching.